fiancé engagement to her boyfriend, NFL star Jonathan Owen.
And guess what? They're with us exclusively to talk about it. But first, let's take a look at Simone's journey and this latest joyful milestone. Yes! In Simone's words, it was the easiest yes. The 24-year-old superstar gymnast announcing she's engaged, writing in a touching Instagram post to her fiancé, 26-year-old Jonathan Owens, "I can't wait to spend forever and ever with you. You're everything I dreamed of and more." Jonathan writing, "You know I'm with you every step of the way." The pair first met in March 2020. Simone was gearing up for the Tokyo Games, and Jonathan, a professional NFL player for the Houston Texans, was prepping for training camp. And when the pandemic put their athletic careers on hold, the duo began building a relationship.
I love him. We have a great time together. Our personalities match right up. We have the same sense of humor. And he's just great. He's an athlete too. So we really understand each other. And I think that's why our relationship has been seamless.
The most decorated gymnast of all time, inspiring millions across the globe, both on and off the mat. Simone, an outspoken advocate for mental health treatment and justice. The Olympic champion using her struggles at the Tokyo Games to highlight the need for everyone to consider self-care.
My body and my mind allowed me to suppress all of that stuff for so many years, and that's why taking care of your mental well-being and mental health is so important so that something like that doesn't happen.
But this week it was all smiles for America's favorite high-flying athlete. She and Jonathan now soaring to a new adventure of their own.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Biles. We talk about Simone Biles, from mental health advocate to now finding love and happiness. Yes, Simone Biles has had a trying year in the past year as she was set to compete in the Olympics due to her feeling the pressures of mental health, to now becoming love and happiness on her way to becoming a wife. First thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag viral here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here. As we talk about Olympic gymnastics superstar Simone Biles here on Viral, as we talk about how she dealt with the pressures of trying to compete in the Olympics, but she pulled out due to her mental health, and now she's on the road to happiness. So let's get started with how all this got played out. We know Simone Biles this past year was slated to appear in the Olympics in gymnastics, but she decided to pull out. Let's look back at how Simone Biles dealt with her mental health during the Olympics with this.
Tonight, star athlete Simone Biles is back in the Olympics. USA Gymnastics confirming she'll compete in the balance beam final tomorrow in now what is certain to be one of the most anticipated events of these games. She withdrew from the team final a week ago and then one by one each individual event, vault, bars and floor. She took on instead the role of team cheerleader, making room for some of the other members of Team USA.
As you saw right there, Simone Biles pulled out of the Olympics due to her mental health, and who can blame her? You know, mental health is a key that many people don't take care of and don't take advantage of. When if you're not in the right mood and you're depressed, you're sad, you're upset, you feel like the world's against you. That's how Simone Biles felt, feeling the pressure from her country, feeling the pressure from herself that she was building. So let's hear what Simone Biles had said on her Facebook show about dealing with the pressures of herself. Take a look.
Laying in the floor and just having a blast. Like, I just had fun. And they sent a letter home. My mom asked if I wanted to join, and she's like, sure. And I just remember being so annoyed because obviously I was the smallest kid in the class and I was like the bounciest, but that's all I saw. I didn't see the talent that I had and the pace I went, which was so much faster than my teammates.
One of the mothers just said, Simone is really good.
Simone Biles, a true champion, dealing with pressures of herself. Her bravery is remarkable. Bravo to her that she took time out to, build her mental health and make an awareness that many people don't even talk about to this day. Kudos to Simone on that. Now, fast forward a couple months later, Simone Biles is engaged and she's happy. She's in love with her fiance. I forgot this dude's name. Well, Simone Biles had to gush about and share the good news on the Today Show. Take a look.
Cute. It's not even fair to the rest of America, okay? But we're really happy for you. Simone, did you see this coming?
I thought it might happen this year, but definitely not on Valentine's Day, so that's why it was such a shock. The way he set up everything was just so seamless, and it was just a normal Valentine's Day for us, at least.
So, Jonathan, you think that Simone had no clue that this was coming. It sounds like you're right about that. So tell me about the story from your side of it. How much planning went into it? Did you talk to her dad beforehand? The whole deal.
So it was a lot of planning. It probably took about 2.5 months.
Wow.
I kind of started talking to the jeweler in early December, just getting everything, situated. And my cousin, he helped a lot, just kind of doing stuff for me when I'm, busy, and called the restaurant and, set everything up and got the photographer set up for me. So, but she really had no clue. She just, thought it was a normal day. So
well, I know Simone's mom and dad very well and love them very well. So I wondered, you had to talk to her dad, and what does Nelly think? It's very important. This
definitely talk to him. I was a little nervous at first, and for the longest, Simone was sitting right next to us, so I couldn't really say what I wanted, and then she left. So I got the cue.
Simone. Go ahead. Okay, so I just have to ask, I'm sorry, you have so much gold, Simone. The ring that you have now, does it match all of the hardware that you have, the gold, the silver? Does it clash? How does it fit in your...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely my most prized possession now, and I'm always wearing it. I had to wash my hair the other day, and I took it off just in case I didn't know if it was going to get caught or anything, and I have to ask my mom, like, when do you take it off? Do you ever take it off and stuff like that? But it definitely beats a gold medal.
Wow, it's beautiful.
So, guys, now that you're engaged, have you taken the next steps or started the planning already, or dates or anything like that?
Yeah, so we literally came back from a red-eye from Vegas, did the engagement the 14th, and then I flew out, so I didn't get to see him for 3 days, so I just got back yesterday. So we kind of started planning a little bit over the phone, but I'm sure we'll do a lot of that today. But we have a couple of specs that we know, but it's still in the process.
Simone, some people are looking at this beautiful relationship and wondering, how did they first meet? And some believe in love at first sight. Some say it takes time. How was it for you guys? How did you first meet? And were you one of those girls who just knew?
Yes, so it was like Instagram relationship and stuff like that, the DMs, whatever. She loves when I say that. I'm not saying it anymore because we're engaged, but I feel like it was, and we clicked really, really well in the beginning because we're athletes and we have the same busy schedules. But other than that, since it was kind of a COVID relationship, we were with each other 24/7. So I feel like now when we're not with each other, it's almost weird, and like we're always texting or calling each other. It's like kind of gross in a way, but
kind of gross. It's not gross. It's really
Don't worry, Simone, that won't last very long. It's the honeymoon phase. What about you, Jonathan? When did you fall for Simone?
Honestly, probably about about a month in, when we were really kind of hanging out, and we were really every weekend, and my dog really loved her, and he was kind of, I could see his face, like whenever I would pick my book bag up in my apartment, he would think we're leaving to go to her place, so he'd sprint to the front door, and I'm like, you really like her, huh? And we just kind of started hanging out more and more, and you start to want to see a person instead of just being like, oh, we're gonna see on the weekends. I kind of started wanting to see her more,
and I stopped leaving.
That's the best. Well, Jonathan, we treasure this woman on your shoulder, and we love her so much, and we're glad she's in such good hands. Simone, before we wrap up here, we had a chance to talk to Michaela Schifrin earlier today, and let me tell you something. She is strong as steel, and you had actually spoken on her Instagram page, and she was writing about the haters, and you were just basically telling her to keep her back straight. Tell me about the advice you've been giving her and where you think she is right now.
Yeah, honestly, you can't judge somebody's mental health through a platform, so I hope she's doing okay, but it's nice that she's giving an insight on exactly how she's feeling, still rooting on her teammates, because it's a really tough place, especially during a pandemic. You're going to compete at the Olympics, and America is kind of like gold medal or bust, and so that puts a lot of pressure on ourselves, but we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves already because it's the pinnacle of our career, so we want to do our best, so whenever we don't, it's like, it's kind of a punch in the throat to us, but then we have all of America kind of like, oh my gosh, you're a failure. But at the end of the day, you have to realize you're still one of the best athletes on the planet, and you're at the Olympics. Like, how many people get to go to the Olympics, and what are you guys doing? You're watching on the couch, so it's like really hard. So, I mean, I love Michaela Schifrin, and I hope that she just embraces the Olympic experience, because we don't know how many we'll be able to go to.
And by the way, after you cheered her on Instagram, you know what she wrote back to you? Let's talk about the ring. She loves you back. You guys, Simone, Jonathan, we are so happy for you. Thank you for sharing this beautiful part of your lives with us. A lot of fun. Congratulations,
Congrats, guys. And have a great year, Jonathan. Go Texans, buddy. Congrats on the new coach, Mark Smith. Go get him.
Yes, Simone Biles did an interview with the Today Show about her starting a new chapter. We know Simone Biles made it clear that she's going to retire from gymnastics if that's possible. But only time will tell on that. But you can tell she's in love and she's happy. She's elated. And we want to wish Simone Biles the best in her recovery. Let's hear what you people had to say out there about Simone Biles trying to navigate the waters from being a mental health advocate to now becoming a fiance. Take a look.
Instagram, she's announced that she's engaged to Texans football safety Jonathan Owens. The two originally connected on social media in March of 2020 and announced their relationship in August of 2020. They celebrated their one-year anniversary in 2021, but they were unable to celebrate together because Simone was at the Olympics. Simone shared many pictures on her Instagram, including this one where they're toasting champagne and she's showing off her massive ring. Simone wrote, "I cannot wait to spend forever and ever with you. You were everything I dreamed of and more." She also called it the easiest yes. Owens commented on the post saying, "Ready for forever with you." Congratulations to these two. We are so excited for you.
Let's take it a step further. Do not propose on Valentine's Day. Do not propose on Christmas. Do not propose on New Year's Eve or day. Do not propose on her birthday. Do not propose on any holiday. I cringe when I see people propose on these days. It's the worst. Your significant other deserves their own day. You want to show them you love them more than anything, right? Don't you? Well, turn a random Tuesday into the best day ever. Don't make her share her moment with Santa Claus.
Player Jonathan Owens are engaged now. Biles, aka The GOAT, shared the news on Twitter with this post saying, "Woke up a fiance and I can't wait to spend forever and ever with you," while sharing photos of him proposing. They met through the internet right before the pandemic hit. Owen said that the shutdown helped them become closer. Well, I hope they stay close, because the pandemic hopefully when it ends, they stay close and they'll be together.
I'm so happy for her. Happy to see that for both of them. I did not know that though. They met during the pandemic. Oh wow! So they're close. Listen, when you've been locked up in the house with somebody all that time, they already married.
It's that pandemic loving. Hey, look, we making up songs on here. We on it. All right.
Today, the Olympic gymnast announced her engagement to St. Louis native Jonathan Owens. The two met when Owens played for the Houston Texans. They started dating at the start of the pandemic. Guess what? Emo's Pizza now getting in on the couple's big news. The company says they will send Simone and Jonathan pizzas for their reception. Simone, by the way, tried the Square Beyond Compare when she was in town last June for the U.S. Olympic trials. She tweeted that she loved the pizza.
Of course she did.
So how about,
You people are elated, happy, and celebrating the fact that Simone Biles is doing what she loves to do and doing the way she can. And that's all to tell. Well, we thank you all for watching this edition of ours. We talk about Simone Biles, from being a mental health advocate to finding love and happiness. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next time for another edition of Viral.